The first question that we have is regarding Lamar Jackson. And Storm, what I want to know is Lamar a lock for MVP at this point?
I still think Russell Wilson has an outside chance, but yeah, Lamar Jackson's starting to run away with that bad boy. He definitely separated himself this week.
Yeah, so I initially said yes. However, Harbaugh just came out and said Lamar Jackson is suffering a bit of an injury. I forget what the injury was.
Hamstring, I think, or quad. One of them.
So the Ravens, depending on how this next week goes, they might sit him the last 2 weeks, and Russell Wilson is not going to sit because they're still fighting to try and get back in that division race. So if he goes off, obviously the public tends to have recency bias.
Yeah,
so
true.
I still give Russell Wilson an outside shot as well. If Lamar Jackson was healthy, though, I'd say no doubt about it. I mean, his passing numbers may not be out of this world, particularly the past 2 weeks, but he makes the throws that he needs to. And I'm tired of hearing all this crap. Oh, it's the system. It's the fact that they run the ball. Lamar Jackson is that system. They don't do that without that guy. He's been incredible this season. Question number 2. What 10-3 NFC team is more legit, the Packers or the Seahawks?
I'm going with the Seahawks right now, and I think it's just because of who we just talked about, Russell Wilson. I think he's playing better football than Aaron Rodgers. I think I would, give him, I think his ability to push a team to victory is better right now than what Aaron Rodgers is doing in Green Bay.
I agree that Russell Wilson is playing better than Aaron Rodgers right now, but I'm going with the Packers here. I don't love either team right now. As for the Seahawks, I think they've overachieved by a mile. Their roster is middle of the pack at best, in my opinion. They've got a couple key players with Russell Wilson, and then on the defensive side with Clowney and Ziggy Ansah rushing the passer. But everyone else is about average. I think that on both sides of the ball, Green Bay does have more talent, and I do believe that we're going to see a bit more of a next-level Aaron Rodgers. Maybe I'm just assuming that. Maybe he doesn't quite have it in him anymore, but I have faith that come playoff time, he's going to ball out. Kind of piggybacking off of that, we are getting to our Facebook question now, coming from Ben Luce. Ben's a great guy. I know him personally, part of my extended family. Anyway, he wants to know what you make of Colin Cowherd's recent notion that Aaron Rodgers could pull an Andrew Luck and, maybe retire a little earlier than expected.
That is a sizzling hot take, baby. And it's not going to happen. I don't see it. I just feel like Andrew Luck had a couple injuries right in a row there, kind of derailed him. He obviously had therapies of wear and tear. Aaron Rodgers really hasn't been banged up too much. Seems like recently, I should say. Seems like he still has some fire, some passion to play. I don't see him retiring. And plus, Aaron Rodgers already been in the league, 7 more years than Luck ever was? How old's Aaron Rodgers? 33 now, so.
Yeah, I think it's a poor comparison on the part of Colin Cowherd. Like you said, totally different situation where Luck was just obliterated by really difficult injuries, long, tough rehab. And I know Aaron Rodgers has had some injuries, but I think there's some ego in Aaron Rodgers that says, I want to win some more so I can actually be in the conversation for the greatest ever, because right now he is not, in my opinion. And then lastly, I know he's a rich man, but it's tough to turn down $30+ million a year for another couple of years and pad that bank account, man. I know he can make money off the field, but he's not getting those types of paychecks if he retires from football. Okay, here's a fun one. We've been talking trash on Mitch Trubisky all year, but he's actually looked kind of good these past couple weeks. I want to know, is Mitchell Trubisky, and notice I said Mitchell this time. I'm giving him the formal Mitchell, as he has requested. Do you think that Trubisky should get one more year to prove himself in Chicago?
He's looked pretty good against not very good teams, but you spent a second-round pick on him. You can't
First
just give
round
him,
pick, second overall pick.
Yeah, you can't just let go of him after 2 years. They got to the playoffs. I know it's defense. I know he made some plays last year, but I just don't think you give up on him just yet, unless some crazy deal where you're able to work like a Cam Newton or Nick Foles comes by. But I don't even see that happening, so I would give him another year.
Yeah, I was of the mindset previously that they should just move on from him because I was seeing no bright spots in his game. However, he is making a pretty good case that he should be able to continue his quote-unquote audition for the Bears to get that first major contract in the NFL. And I think what the big thing is happening is that Matt Nagy has stopped trying to make Trubisky something that he's not. He's gone back to what had worked for Trubisky in the past. He's running him short intermediate passes, trying to get a little bit more creative with the play calling. Now, I still don't love him long-term, and I do still think they should draft a quarterback. But I don't see a ton of free agent options that really put them over the top. Now, granted, a healthy Cam Newton is a big improvement, and I think could put that Chicago team up to the next level. But a healthy Cam Newton isn't guaranteed, so is it really worth the risk?
Yeah, who just had Liz Franken surgery last week or whatever it was. So.
Yeah, and he's a 30-plus-year-old rushing quarterback. Yeah. Usually that's when those types of guys really start to decline. May as well try and get as many miles out of Trubisky as you can, maybe make a push next year.
Right.
Like I said, though, I do still think they should draft a quarterback mid-round this year. Anyway, the Titans are cooking recently, and they are now tied for the AFC South lead. They match up with the Texans this week. Do you think the Titans have a legitimate shot of winning this division?
Absolutely. I mean, right now they're doing what you need to do. They're playing great defense, and they're running the ball very, very well. Derrick Henry is a monster. Talk about someone that's playing for their next big contract. He most certainly is. He's playing well. Tannehill obviously doing everything he needs to do, playing himself into another contract, possibly with Tennessee. Yeah, I mean, they have this is their time to show it this weekend when they play Houston, which we'll hit on later.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, I love Deshaun Watson and the Texans. I think that their floor is super high, but they're one of the most inconsistent teams in the NFL. We just saw what Denver was able to do to that secondary, and that was freaking Drew Lock.
Anyway. MVP Drew Lock.
Sorry, MVP Drew Lock. I will use his formal name as well. But the Titans have been the opposite of inconsistency lately. Like you said, they run the ball so well. Tannehill, I believe, has had the highest completion percentage in the league since he has become the starter. So, yeah, they absolutely have a chance if they can catch Houston napping on the defensive side. So, kind of piggybacking off of that, we kind of answered this a little bit, but do you think Ryan Tannehill has earned another year as the Titans starting quarterback?
Absolutely. I still go, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, I'd still draft someone, I think, because I don't know if Tannehill's really your long-term answer there, no matter what. So you draft a guy mid-rounds, and you give Tannehill another year, see what happens. And if he keeps going, then keep playing him, whatever.
Yeah, I don't even think it's necessarily just one more year. I think he's shown that he might be worthy of just a new contract, like a 3-year deal, something Jacoby Brissett style. He'd probably make a little bit more because he has been a starter.
Right.
I didn't even realize Ryan Tannehill's 31 years old. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't seem like – I guess he was with Miami for a long time, and he actually got a second contract with the Dolphins. But, man, you can't knock anything that this guy's done. Like I said, he's completing over 73% of his passes since he became the starter. They're 6-1. Like, right now, he's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the conference. Can you name 4 guys who are better than him in the AFC right now? Like, you've got Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady's not better than him right now. Josh Allen isn't.
No.
Yeah, man. Tannehill is balling out. Yeah. I think he's earned it. I think this is a reflection of how piss poor that Miami organization is. And I think Tennessee has a solid enough foundation, a good enough head coach that Tannehill can do enough to make them a really good team and a playoff contender for the next few years.
I saw something where Miami's paying Tannehill right now $18 million and Tennessee's paying him $1 million.
It's a joke. It's an absolute.
I love stuff like that.
Absolute joke. Another thing that has been a joke has been the Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. connection. Recently, after Baker Mayfield came out and kind of shit-talked the PT staff for Cleveland, man, he doesn't know when to shut the hell up. It's proven to be a problem. I used to dig it, and now he just says the wrong things. But anyway, it's come out that Odell, he's talking to opponents about how he wants out of Cleveland. Do you blame him?
No. No, and what Baker Mayfield's comments were, that kind of proved that justifies it. If they're making him play or treating his groin or whatever, sports hernia, whatever injury he had going on, if they're making him play through that, that's ridiculous. Like, come on. I don't blame him. But then again, I just don't understand. Like, I have no idea. But, yeah, I don't blame him.
Man, I took the bait hard on this Cleveland team, man. But they are just a freaking mess. Not just organizationally or in the coaching staff. But obviously, Baker Mayfield just is not what anybody expected. I could be wrong, but it looks like he put on 15 pounds from last year.
Those post-game conference interviews where he just looks like a homeless person.
I feel like he's putting on a little bit more weight each time. By week 17, he's going to be sitting there.
The trench coat is getting a little big.
Coat's getting a little tight, scarf squeezing. Anyway, I don't blame Odell at all. Like, you're not winning. You're not getting the ball like you should as an elite talent, and you gotta live in Cleveland, man. I won out of there yesterday, man. You know what? He's too good to be stuck in this situation, and he's not a bad influence on a team. Like, he's gotten this reputation where he's kind of a bad locker room guy, but he's not. He's a little flashy, a little cocky, but in the locker room, people tend to love him. Yeah, he's a diva, but almost all great wide receivers have been sans Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's true.
And I guess there's a few now. You're looking at your Michael Thomas's, DeAndre Hopkins. But anyway.
I know a wide receiver needy team that would take him.
I'm sure there's a few. You know what? As long as he doesn't go to the Patriots, I could not care less. Send him somewhere where he can win. Odell, you deserve it. Okay, moving on to, like you said, MVP Drew Lock.
Yes.
Do you think the Broncos have found their quarterback of the future?
It sure looks like it. I said at the beginning of the year I was excited to watch him play, and he's played very well the last 2 games. I'm enjoying watching him play a little bit. Throwing the ball well, making great decisions, albeit, it's still, who they play, Houston, I forget who they played the week before. So not very good defenses, but hey, when you outscored Deshaun Watson, that's impressive. John Elway may have got lucky here.
Or did he get lucky? Did not script that, I promise. I'm kind of with you. It's too early, so I really have no idea. We see this a lot where guys will come in, have a couple of games, lighten defenses up because there's no tape. But it is promising, particularly considering how young their offensive core is. So you have Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, and Phillip Lindsay, all rookies or second-year players. So if Drew Lock can continue to progress and build upon the start that he has, this Denver Broncos team could be really good moving forward, particularly considering how good they've been able to be on the defensive side for an extended period of time. All right, here's a question for me. Do you think the Rams are back in the playoff mix after a dominant win over Arizona and now a pretty good win over the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, I mean, they're only a game back in Minnesota. It looks like they have the easier schedule in Minnesota going forward. You still have to beat a hungry Dallas team, I think. Well, hungry, I guess, in what sense? I don't know. But yeah, they're definitely in it.
Yes, they are. I love that answer. And I'll be the first to say I was this close to being totally out on the Rams. I was so pessimistic because that offensive line looked like trash. Gurley wasn't getting the ball. The defense didn't look good. But I don't know what the hell has happened the last 2 weeks. Really, I think it's that Sean McVay said, screw it, I got to run Gurley. We're paying him all this money. We're not going to be able to save him for the postseason unless we get to the postseason. And for me, I was looking at schedules as well because obviously they have to try and get ahead of Minnesota. And although I don't love the Rams' schedule moving forward, they get Dallas this week, then they get San Francisco and Arizona. So it is pretty tough, but you look at the Vikings schedule, Bears, Packers, and Chargers. None of those teams are going to roll over. So really, this weekend is huge for LA. If they lose against Dallas this weekend, it's over. Yep. They need to run the table, but you know what? I'm not going to rule them out. And if they get into the postseason, I'm telling you, watch out. Watch out. This team could be dangerous. They have the talent. They just haven't been able to quite string it together all year. Okay, we already answered that question. Here we go. Last question right here. So Le'Veon Bell, who was ruled out of last Sunday's game with the flu. He didn't practice on Thursday or Friday, obviously, because he's not going to play. He's sick. I get it. He got the sniffles. But he was spotted out at a bowling alley right around midnight, 1 a.m. And then after he was asked about it, he kind of just said, well, I bowled a personal best. Is it a big deal that he was out late Saturday night but did not play on Sunday?
Here's the real question you should ask. Is he going to be a pro bowler or a pro bowler before.
I'm so glad you waited to tell me this joke. Guys, listeners, he was so excited pre-show. Like, I got the best joke here. It's so good. I'm so ready. And you know what? You did not disappoint. That was excellent. I'm pissed that I didn't think about it because that sounds like my type of joke.
Yeah, but it is actually a big deal. He shouldn't be doing that shit before a game, especially if he's not going to play. Yeah. All right, I get it. But if he has the flu, right? That's what he said. So what the hell is he doing out in public anyway with the flu?
Yeah,
So not only are you not playing the game, but you're putting other people in jeopardy getting sick. Come on, man.
Yeah, a little selfish. I don't think it's a huge deal. Like, you've been sick and you're sick for a couple days. Like, I need some fresh air. I need to kind of go out and do something. But you don't go out that late on a Saturday night, man. Especially when you know people are going to see you. It's New York. Everyone knows who the hell you are. So I don't think it's a huge deal. What bothers me is that going into the season, he claimed that he wanted to be a leader on this team. And then early in the season doesn't show up to OTAs. And now this. It's just not the best optically. So I don't love it. Don't think it's a huge deal, though, particularly because the Jets suck.